show. Where we just break down the news, the gaming news, but we keep it a little light. We're not gonna go too deep because it's not that deep.
Who's got time for that? People are dying of coronavirus out there.
My name is that kid Flowers. Call me Shawn Flowers on the stage though. And this here next to me is Mike Doherty, aka Cheeks_Jr.
What's up, players?
How you doing, man?
I am fantastic. I'm tired today. I'm definitely feeling the. I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling real exhausted.
Okay, what are you tired from? Long night?
Yeah, I was up pretty late last night, but
yeah, same.
So I woke up. Surprisingly, my body has shifted to the earlier, to waking up earlier.
So you get your clock right.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
9 o'clock's not like super early to some people.
That's early to me, honestly.
But I know that's early. Coming from the guy who used to wake up at 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
So I just woke up. Usually I didn't set my alarm or nothing, and usually I would be able to sleep till like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
And then now I'm here. So I'm a little bit tired, but I'm good. Got some stuff to talk about on the.
You want some stuff? You got some stuff?
What we been doing?
Okay. Anything you want to bring up right now? You want to just get into it later?
Yeah, I mean we could. So I've been playing Valorant.
How's
so I had to update my drivers, and I had to do all the PC dork shit. You know what I mean?
All right. So Valorant, that's what's the studio developer? Who's that?
It's
Riot. Right. Yeah. So our new producer, new guy, right? He always brings up the fact that with Valorant, you have to download all these security softwares that kind of read your shit at all times when you're playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to do that? Is that true? Is that a thing?
Yes, it is.
Oh shit.
Yeah, when you download the game, it downloads like all those like crazy shit into your PC. I don't care. What are you gonna look at?
Yeah, it actually. So what it is it's their anti-cheat software.
Okay.
For whatever reason, that anti-cheat software has to be running 24/7 on your computer, no matter what. You can have not played that game for 2-3 weeks at a time, and that anti-cheat software will still be running in the background. Not only that, it also has root level access, which means it can access any single thing on your PC.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is facts, but is that you still okay? You still okay with that?
Yeah, what are they gonna access? You know what I mean? Chinese can have all of my info.
What if they can access some of your files where you got some private shit in?
You can always uninstall. I mean, look, if you're doing
can.
shady shit, don't download the game. Simple.
Point blank period.
It's a beta, and honestly, it's good. It's just not like anything like super amazing.
So you got into it, right? You finally got the key. I remember you telling me you had to watch the stream for I don't know how long.
Yeah, I left that shit. So to get into the Valorant beta, you have to link your Twitch account to your Riot account. So you have to make a Riot account because nobody has a Riot account, and then you have to watch like hours of like the Valorant streams. So it's like a specific streams like
this is like someone's specific channel.
Not someone specific, but it was like it has to have drops on. Whatever that means.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not entirely sure what that means.
And keep going.
Sounds
All right.
like some PC dork shit
Need
to
it.
me. So then, so I had that just running on in the background for a day, and then I got it. Don't even know who I clicked on to watch. Didn't watch any of it. Didn't know anything about this game.
I was hoping you could hook people up, but you don't even know how you did it.
I did it. I clicked on one of it says Valorant.
Yeah.
Drops on. Click on that, and then you just watch that. And you watch that until they send you, hey, you're in the beta.
So how was it? You got into the beta. I remember I was watching you this morning.
Yeah,
actually play a little
again,
bit.
I didn't watch any of the streams or nothing, so I didn't know how the game worked at all or really what it was. It looked fun, and then when I got in, I was like, oh, this game looks like really cool. It plays really well. Still having to get used to the mouse and keyboard. Unfortunate, but that's what I'm doing. And it's a fine game. I don't know. The map is kind of boring to me. And the abilities are cool, but yeah. Well, I think it switches out with 2 maps or 3 maps, something like that.
Okay.
I believe. And it's fine. It's not super. The map's just boring. Like the environment's super boring.
Yeah.
And like you die super fast in terms of like it doesn't take a lot of bullets to kill you.
Yeah.
But I do like the abilities. I just wish there was a little bit more diversity in the actual environment itself. So it's a fine game. I don't think it's what a lot of these people are kind of making. I can't imagine sitting there and playing hours and hours and hours of it. Where like Call of Duty, again, I go back to Call of Duty because that's the thing that I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like I could play hours and hours and hours of it.
So you like the game, you just don't think you can get like hooked by it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean it's a fine game. It's mechanically sound. It's just kind of a boring map.
Yeah, I mean from what I looked at it, it looked like definitely like I got some Overwatch vibes. Where like you had to like I thought it was interesting that they had like some like search and destroy type of game mode you were playing. I don't know if you played.
That's like the
anything.
main game mode.
That's
yeah.
the only game mode.
Mhm.
Okay, but I thought that was pretty interesting because not that Overwatch has that game mode. I'm not even sure if it does. It may have that in get Overwatch, but like I thought that was interesting and like how you can actually choose the weapons. That reminded me something like a Call of Duty or even like a people said like a CS:GO.
Yeah.
But I like the abilities. I didn't really see you messing with it too much.
It was that, yeah, like each character has like, there's one where you can like throw, like you have this bow and you shoot it against the wall and it like scans for enemies and like highlight it for a little bit. There's ones where like this girl like dashes.
See, yeah, that
she,
sounds
jumps
just
up
like
hella far, and then she dashes and she has all these knives levitating around her and she just throws. It's cool stuff. But like I said, it's not like super like spectacular or anything like that. From what I've played so far, again, this is a beta. I wanted to jump in and wanted to get on the conversation, and it's free. I just had to do a little bit of work behind it, which wasn't even really that hard. So I've been playing that. I wanted to kind of talk about that just in terms of my impressions of it. This game has a lot of potential. I want to see them kind of expand and adapt on what they have. Like I want more exciting environments because all the maps I played look exactly the same.
They look really symmetrical and like blocky, like here, there, like maze-like.
Yeah, well, the corridors are for a purpose because you die so easy, so you have to be able to peek.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't have like super open space, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's all right. And then we were playing Apex today, which I know you want to talk about because what have you been up to?
Honestly, this weekend and honestly the last couple of days leading up till today, I've just been homework finals week. So stuck in that. I stayed up late last night writing like this paper, just finishing it off because fuck that, just get it out the way, turned it in, feel good. Got the rest of the week. I still got a couple more assignments, but it's just homework for me. I haven't really played too much, except for the Apex we played today.
Played pretty much all day on Apex.
Feels good. Like a nice pat on the back. You ready to get in some news?
Yeah, I mean, do you don't want to talk about Apex Season 4?
I'm gonna talk about. I got that in the news.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I got you.
News.
Before I get into some news, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Invite only. Like I said, it's our nerdy news podcast. You can find us on YouTube. We're also on audio on Spotify. Come on, it was good. It was good. Why you just do me like that?
Do it. Just keep going. Why'd you gotta stop?
Because man, you just reached all of my space. You invaded my bubble,
Why
so I have to just call you out on it. Like I was saying, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all that. We're all in there. Spreading the good gospel, the good wisdom to the good people. So, first piece of news. Do you remember that Inside Xbox thing we watched? Was it last week?
Yes, that was last week.
Where like you were really excited. I could tell. Like you were way more excited. I was like, they're gonna just talk about third parties. Like, no, they're not. They're gonna talk about Halo Infinite, and they're gonna have all like the new games. I'm like, Mikey, like relax. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like
you enjoying this, huh?
A little bit. Let me just do what I do. Like, no, Mikey. Like, no. Like, relax. Like, I know you're hyped, but like, that's not what this is, right? So, check this out. Microsoft admits we set some wrong expectations. I put that in quotes for those who are listening. We set some wrong expectations with the Xbox Series gameplay reveal because that's what they said it was. It was supposed to be some gameplay of a couple of the newer games that was coming out. These were third-party games, though, not really first-party. But there wasn't really much gameplay.
No. There's maybe a minute
worth of gameplay.
Yeah. Adrian sneezes like the weirdest motherfucker. I just want to point that out. But yeah, no, there's like maybe a minute.
Yeah.
If not like less of gameplay.
So this article comes from Eurogamer.net, right? It says, the company had teased that the Xbox Series gameplay for the special Inside Xbox show, but gameplay was in short supply for Microsoft, as Microsoft issued a raft of trailers from third-party publishers and developers. Microsoft's Inside Xbox video that was streamed live on YouTube, Twitch, all those live streaming platforms, has 33,000 dislikes on YouTube, and the comments are packed with complaints because you said gameplay. Why did I wake up super early and you didn't even show me what you told me you were going to show me? And pretty much the world was outraged. And one of the gameplays that we were looking forward to in particular was the new Assassins Creed Valhalla gameplay, which came surprisingly short. I guess we thought was being surprisingly short right after they just announced a trailer for it. And then the creative director, Ashraf Ismail, let me just butcher his name. I know it's there. Ashraf Ismail took to Twitter. He said, You rightfully expected to see more today. We have a long marquee campaign ahead of us. You will see in-depth gameplay and get a lot more info about the game. Thank you for your excitement and passion. Be patient with us and be kind. It will be worth it. I don't know if it will be worth it.
I don't know either.
I thought it was worth it. I woke up really early. I don't know.
I mean, from day one, you were like, it's not gonna be longer than anything.
Yeah.
Which you were right to keep your expectations low. I just figured when like you go on Twitter and you make like this huge campaign of like all these brands that you're associated with replying like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna be there, and then Mixer jumps in and they're like, oh, you asked for gameplay, we're gonna give you gameplay.
I think it's like the hype of like the industry's kind of like stirring in the back because there's no E3, so everyone's kind of like, oh, you work with us, we can do this thing online and we can do this, and oh, now we have so many studios and saying they're gonna present this, and it's like the hype of all of it, and then Xbox says they're gonna give you some gameplay, and then you don't get gameplay.
Didn't you say that it was because people pulled out?
Not because it pulled out, but Microsoft claims that they just didn't get a lot of trailers. I just get sent to them from these studios to present on the show. That's
so
what
you
the
announce
article-
something before you have the trailers. Look, look, 4 knuckleheads in that worked out of a bedroom for the longest time run a better showcase. You know what I mean? Kind of funny. Who is like not? This is not
Shout
their
outs to Kinda
industry
Funny.
in terms of like
Yeah.
the showcases. They're already getting tapped for other people's showcases to come run and come do, and it's like that's how well they run a show. And it's like if these 4 knuckleheads can figure it out,
Microsoft,
I'm
what's going
sure Microsoft should have been able to figure this out.
What are you doing?
Don't announce anything. Don't hype it up the way you're hyping up unless you have stuff to hype up. And if you don't, you set expectations low. There's
Yeah.
just gonna be indies. There's just gonna be smaller. There's gonna be
Tell
third
me
party.
what I'm here for. I mean, that probably would have dropped their viewings for sure, but I mean, at least I feel like you don't lose credibility. Because do you feel excited about the next Inside Xbox?
Look, but when they announced it, they should have had all their stuff like prepped
Yeah, ready.
because it
Boom,
was a
boom,
week.
boom.
It was a week that they had. So if you're only gonna give a week heads up instead of like a month heads up or 2 months heads up, right?
Mhm.
It's like when you announce that, you should have all your assets locked and ready to go, and then you just have to edit it all together and do your thing.
Yeah.
So don't know what happened.
How you feel about the next one that's coming sometime soon? They haven't announced it,
We'll
but they said they were going to promise us a couple more.
We'll see. Yeah, and I know they have one. We talked about it on our video that
Yeah.
we did. And if you haven't watched it, go check that out and watch that whole thing live
Great video, by the way. Go check
with
that out.
us. It was all right.
It was great.
But yeah, essentially they said one of the ones that they're going to be doing is all first-party studios, which is I think what everybody's most interested about.
Yeah.
So that one I'm excited for. I don't know how many more. I don't like these.
Mhm.
I don't like any like from Xbox, from PlayStation, from any of these. I don't like these.
They don't like the games?
I don't like showcases.
Why not?
I don't like digital showcases.
What else are you supposed to be getting? Like, what else do you want?
I miss E3.
Come on.
Like I like the live announcement. I like making it a thing.
And
I
I miss
like the
going to
hype.
stores without masks, but like that's just the thing right now.
No,
So let's just move forward.
No,
you
I
know what
get
mean?
that, but like it's just not the same. So it's like I get so much less excited unless it's like you do it right. Like you do it right. Like imagine if like you ran it like how Kind of Funny ran it, but you had some really hype shit to say.
You sound like you really got burned by this. Like I feel like you were really expecting like
I wanted something cool, and I didn't get something cool, and I didn't get something exciting. I got something immensely boring, to be honest. Like.
so you got
especially in the
so
morning.
burned, like, now, do it right. You have to come correct. Now I don't even know.
Yeah.
Now I don't know about anything.
I don't trust nothing. I don't trust nothing. I don't want to trust nothing. Especially with PlayStation shit. I don't know what they're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
At least they announced the Ghost of Tsushima one that they're gonna be doing. At least we know what it's about, right? Hey, it's a whole thing
little by
dedicated
little.
to Ghost of Tsushima. Cool. That's all I need to know. I'm not gonna watch it.
And if we do get more, it's going above my expectations, and I think that's important because I don't expect a lot.
What if they go, it's Ghost of Tsushima, dedicated Ghost of Tsushima, and they're like, this is the PS5 hardware, and this is all the...
That'd be fucking crazy because like we don't even know what the PS5 looks like still, and it's supposed to be coming like less than 6 months. Did they announce a
not
release
happening.
date?
It's not happening.
I don't
Everybody
know.
out there,
Fingers
it's
crossed,
not
man.
happening.
I don't know. My fingers is crossed. But going forward, what we're talking about with this Inside Xbox supposedly supposed to have some gameplay. Then we get an announcement from Assassin's Creed developers Ubisoft saying that the game will be in 4K, but it'll be running at a limit of 30 frames per second. Now, this may be good news, may be bad news, depending who you are, but they hype up the specs of this console, supposed to be being able to run these games at 120 frames per second, which I think is ridiculous. I don't even think most games even need that. I feel like 60 frames would be enough for almost anything you can really throw at it, but 120 frames. But then we get this announcement that Assassin's Creed is going to be running 30. There was an interview with IGN. Ubisoft said, currently, we can guarantee that Assassin's Creed will run at least 30 frames per second. Assassin's Creed will benefit from faster loading times, allowing players to immerse themselves in history and the world without friction. Finally, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will benefit of improved graphics made possible by the Xbox Series X, and we can't wait to see a beautiful world. Does that change your expectations for games coming out for the Xbox? Do you feel like this is going to be a trend?
I think it's hard for developers, especially if you're developing on two different architectures in terms of like Xbox X and then Xbox Series X and PS4 and PS5. Like I feel like you're gonna run into a lot of difficulty there, especially in this transition time, unless you're a first party studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a first party studio, then obviously your game's gonna be like pretty spec'd out.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's the one piece of hardware you're developing it for the most part. Xbox some exceptions, but like you have that insider trading knowledge, whereas like all these third parties, you kind of have to figure it out in terms of your strategy and how much time do you want to spend.
Yeah.
Whereas like third parties, you have a very strict timeline of this needs to be done by this needs, you have bigger bosses and a lot more bosses, right? Whereas on a first party game, you still have deadlines, but you have a little bit more freedom to be like, we need a little bit more time to do this, X, Y, and Z. So with this, third-party games are going to struggle kind of in the beginning, and I say struggle because I don't know how it plays. Most of the time when they dip it down, though, in terms of the frames per second, the big reason is the game already runs choppy. So if you've already choppy at 60...
Choppy meaning like your camera's
going
to
to
be
stutter. Yeah, you know
okay.
the stutter. You know when you dip frames and you look like you're a little Game & Watch.
Yeah.
Running around.
You kind of like run into the wall and then you teleport somewhere. Yeah, I get you.
Like the FPS is down, right? So typically that means you're a little stuttery on 60 frames per second, so they dip it down to 30 frames per second. I mean, that's just all that really means is the game's not running great at 60, so they're going to launch it at 30.
All right. And I'm going to say something that might be dumb, but I took this as, like I said, either the game's going to, like you said, be choppy, or maybe they dropped the frame rate because how much content's in the game. Maybe they want to have what's in the game look as good as possible rather than have the game running as smooth as possible. So that's how I kind of took this. Because, like I said, at the end of this quote, they are saying it's going to be running at this beautiful resolution where everything's looking amazing. Like it sounds like they're really running for the graphics more than like I guess the smoothness.
That's usually a reason as well. Because typically, like on the pro systems, you have to sacrifice one or the other. You have to go, do you want better graphics or do you want better gameplay?
Yeah.
On these consoles, we're supposed to get best of both worlds.
Yeah, and it's crazy that they even have to choose because that makes me feel like either what the fuck are we going to get out of Assassin's Creed for them to have this spec'd out console that's going to be able to run this game in ridiculous specs, but still run it at 30 frames per second? What are we going to get out of Assassin's Creed?
I'm sure it's going to be fine as long as it runs good at 30.
Yeah.
Because if they can't make it work at 60 and they drop it down and it's still stuttery at 30, then that's unbearable. But, I mean, 30, okay, yeah. 30 is lower than what we're used to. We haven't seen 30 since, like, PS3.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be fine. Like, it's going to be fine. But if it's still stuttery, then, yeah, of course, it's not going to be great.
Do you still have hopes for the games coming out from other first-party studios, though?
Yeah.
You feel like they're going to be coming out strong, 60 frames, 120 frames per second?
Yeah, I have no doubt about it.
I need Battlefield to announce what they're going to go through because they've talked about really maxing out the game for the specs of the hardware. So, interested to see what's going on with that.
Me too. I'm excited for that. That's going to be the first Assassin's Creed game I bought in a while. I might go back and try to play Origins.
Don't do that. No need.
I might. I heard good things about it.
Okay.
I like Egypt. I like history.
Okay. I mean, if you're that gamer, then be that guy.
I mean, I'm the single player guy. You remember? I finished games.
Yeah, that's not me. New announcement. I think this came out either today or yesterday.
This morning.
This morning.
This morning. Breaking news.
New Tony Hawk Pro Skater Remake has been announced. This is supposed to be a combination of Pro Skater 1 and 2, where they claim that they're going to have all the levels from both games, all the moves. They're going to throw in a couple new moves, a couple more new levels. It's supposed to be just a full revamp of the game. Can you go ahead and play it for us real quick? Let's see what we got.
Ooh, it looks good. I hope the soundtrack's like there.
Oh, this brings back so many memories. Pro Skater 2.
Woo! I remember watching my brother play these.
Man, I would sit there and watch it.
What is this, the B-52s that they're playing? It looks like they're emphasizing the soundtrack. That's what the last frame was. Is skating still a thing, though?
Yeah, I love skate games. Skate games like Skate 4 is one of the games that I was really like. Not Skate 4 is not even a thing. Skate in general, like that whole franchise was a really fun game. Pro Skater.
I feel like I don't see people skating anymore.
Well, you're not even looking. You gotta go to the skate parks, which are, for one, hard to find in general.
Oh, this is a Vicarious Visions?
Yes, sir. VVs.
Wow. So Vicarious Visions. Okay, so 1, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
2, Vicarious Visions, as we know, developed my beloved Crash Bandicoot series.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So they did the Crash Bandicoot remake. So this game is in very good hands, and I'm sure they're doing everything to try to get the
So what
licensing.
you're telling me is that they're remake specialist.
Yeah. Well, look, that's what they are put to do. I think they could do a lot more, and they have done a lot more in the past. Yeah. And just like Crash Bandicoot, they have been put in. They've made Tony Hawk games before.
Yeah.
So they're aware and they have a background in it. Sorry, and I meant Vicarious Visions. Did Vicarious Visions? I'm trying to think.
What's your question, man?
Who did CTR? That was Vicarious Visions. Beanox did the. No, was it Beanox?
That did CTR the remake?
No, I think Beanox did the original. CTR was Vicarious Visions though. So Vicarious Visions. Yeah, did CTR because they did Crash Nitro Kart originally back in the day, and then they remastered the CTR, which CTR one of the best.
CTR Crash Team Racing was actually by Beanox.
Oh,
Beanox.
I got it switched.
Well,
I got it switched.
you used to know your studios.
Yeah.
I did, fuck about this game, right?
Fuck.
Crash Bandicoot.
So no, so they did the original trilogy of Crash Bandicoot games.
Okay.
Remake. I'm pissed I got that mixed up. So I'm very, very excited on what they'll do for Tony Hawk. Again, I'm not like a huge skating fan, but those games are super, super fun to play. The soundtracks are phenomenal.
Those games are super easy to jump into. Like you don't have to like skating to really hop into it.
And I kind of like the story too. Like the stories in them were fine. But what's exciting is I pointed it out when we were watching that trailer.
Yeah.
They came up with all the little soundtrack names. That's the detail that Vicarious Visions puts into things. Like they took so much time and detail into the Crash Bandicoot games, where it's like they got every little thing right, and then they came back and got old voice actors to come and do the voices and things like that. Them showing that soundtrack is showing that they're doing
dedication.
everything that they possibly can
dedication.
to get the original soundtrack. Because I remember the new Tony Hawk game, Pro Skater, right, that came out like a couple of years ago, completely flopped, and it was bad. Like it ran terrible.
Definitely outsold that game.
Yeah. So luckily they're gonna put their heart and souls into it because they're good at it. But it pisses me off though because I want a new Crash Bandicoot game and I want it to be made by them.
Oh my god, that's just gonna bring it right back to that.
That's my takeaway. Because it's like let them do it. Let them do it. They did it right on the remakes. Let them do another one. But here we are with fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which is good, and it's gonna be good because they're a great developer.
You know, for $40, if it does come out for $40, I feel like this is definitely a good buy, even a good pickup, just a good bullshitting game on the side, just to like mess around and like maybe I do this like. And there's a bunch of like even secret levels to the game. Like this game has a lot of content in this game. Like you can tell that is like you said, definitely put their heart and soul into this game because it's definitely I feel like it's gonna go way back and bring you all the way back with them. With today's announcement of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, though, they also announced this new game. Adrian actually just dropped in the link in the doc. I'm sorry, guys. A link for the Skater XL, which was announced today. Release date at least was announced
By
today.
Activision?
But no, Easy Day Studios.
But who's the publisher?
I didn't see that part online.
Oh, well.
Sorry. My bad. But this game has been quoted as one of the most realistic skating games. And I haven't really seen too much of this game at all. I maybe seen a couple of like screenshots, but I don't know. And this came today with the Pro Skater announcement. So, which one are you more? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, are we watching this trailer too?
Yeah, so you can get an idea of what the gameplay is going to look like. Because like I said, I've never really seen too much of what this is as far as screenshots. So
I feel like this is the same song though.
Remember in 2017 when some
looks like a
chowderhead community manager
Oh,
at
hold on.
EA
Mute this?
tweeted a Skate 4
Mute
hashtag
this?
and suddenly
This is
Skate 4
IGN's
was
content.
gonna happen?
Oh, shit.
Except that
Mute it because this is IGN's content.
womp womp.
Wait, so it was an IGN breaking story, or do we have a trailer for this?
I thought this was a trailer. This is awkward. It's not your fault, Adrian. You have to put me on blast. All right, you just stop the video. Just cut the video. Cut the video. All right, with that first few seconds, all right, that was part of the actual game. My point is that it was announced today. It was announced today, and it seems like it's gonna be really like a really customizable game. Like that's really what they're gonna be throwing at you as far as like they have like real name brands like DC, Vans,
DC.
DC shoes,
I used to wear those.
Vans, a couple of the name brand companies, New Balance, to go all thrown in here to really make your character really customizable. And the gameplay didn't look too bad. It kind of looked really like blank, but like I don't know how far in development the game actually is. But we did get announced.
Face tats?
I don't know, man. Hey,
I feel like
maybe
that'd be really skater.
real skater
You
like
can
face stats.
Smoke in the game.
Another piece of news. Little dead space. A little piece of news. A year of Riot's diversity and inclusive efforts mean it now employs 1% more women. I bring this up because I know Riot is known, or a lot of articles have been popping up recently about Riot being like really uninclusive and women's being like harassed in their studio and work environment. There's pretty much a bunch of articles just how much their employees don't like being there and how much the women aren't appreciated there. So this article goes into detail. It says, overall, the number of women working at Riot around the world has risen by 1%, accounting for 22% of all staff by the end of 2019. Meanwhile, underrepresented minorities at Riot made up 9% of the workforce, also up by 1%. Okay, they're making progress. Riot defines unrepresented minorities as Black or African. Okay, at least they know who they need to hire, right? The number of women among the new hires. What was that?
Sorry, and Alaskan Native. I just thought that was interesting.
Oh, yeah. The number of women among new hires rose from 27 to 31%. So at least they're looking at more of these graduate students that actually spent their time learning how to code and shit. And I have a quote from Riot. They saying a quote from Riot says, "We still have progress to make." And this is from 2018. They've come up from 2018. This is up to 2020 for 1% more for their
2 years, 1%.
2 years, 1%.
Yeah.
Big difference?
Sounds about right. No, I mean, it's...
That's a lot more people.
It's weird that they brag about this until they got some better numbers. You know?
I don't even know what they wanted to, like, what was their point to get across from this? Like, did they really just want to, like, kind of just kill the... I guess the attack, the counter culture that was after them.
They're trying to say that they're doing something about it. I just would ignore it until you have like some like not ignore the issue, but like don't come out and say anything
like,
until
whoa,
like
bro,
you're
ignore
like
it.
you can come out with some hard data and be like, this is how our culture's changed.
When it
This
looks
is
like a
what's
big
changed.
change.
We've hired 10% more women,
Yeah.
annually to become part of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, 1% is that's weird. That's like us being like, we got 3 more subscribers today, everybody. We are growing. We're
It's
getting
like
there.
the boys club behind Riot Games is so excited that they made a difference as far as like hiring maybe a couple more women or maybe even minority groups, that they just had to say something. Like, I feel like that speaks even to more about like the actual environment of Riot, that like the little things like that, they feel like they want to make a big impact of. I feel like they just want to really just kill the council culture behind them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they want to get away from that stigma, which they should, because it wasn't a great stigma to have, nor was it a great work environment to have. I like to picture them being like, with like 5 applications in front of them from the 5 women that applied, and them just going like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, this one. You're hired.
Yeah, they
Like
really
that's how I imagine that they hire.
let's just take this one. Okay,
She's
all right,
black
you're in.
and female. Let's.
All right, now
We
they're
gotta
just
get our
looking at
numbers up.
the check boxes instead of actually what they actually did. That's crazy.
Ooh, gay, black, and female. Check. All right, you're hired.
Trying to meet that quota. This news story may not be too interesting to you. I just threw this in here because at the time of this, it wasn't a lot of news. But I thought this piece was a little interesting. So, Animal Crossing New Horizon, the new Switch game that just dropped, maybe a month or 2 before the whole Corona outbreak.
Yeah, right as it's going. Like a week after the shelter in place, that's when it dropped.
Yeah.
Good time to
selling
drop
like crazy. Everyone was looking for it. I saw like people saying that like, oh, Animal Crossing is like therapy. This game is selling like nobody's business. Like hotcakes from the, what does it say? The latest game, Nintendo's long-running franchise, launched globally on March 20th, and it sold 11 or just round this up to 12 million units before March 31st. According to Nintendo, went on to sell 13 million units in the next 6 weeks following the launch. Everyone just get out and just get this game? Like, this is just the game?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I'm seeing people buy Switches just for this game. I'm seeing people who normally don't play video games, buy Switches just to get this game. I'm actually really surprised by a lot of people who've gotten into this game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's popular, man. Like, it doesn't surprise me. It's a Nintendo IP. People were already really hyped for it, and then when you have the nerdy fucks like us talking about it, and I mean not us, but like people who play video games, people who don't play video games, and then on top of the coronavirus thing, they're stuck at home, they need something to do, and then all of a sudden you got Jimmy over here talking about how many weeds he pulled today and how many what's the currency? What's the currency in Animal Crossing?
Do you know what it's called? It's actually a different thing other than monies.
I honestly do not
Rio?
know. Yeah, I think it's
I don't know.
I forgot what it's called, but you have to like trade it, like the stocks, like every day, like every Sunday.
I'm dead.
And then there's like a whole thing going on in Animal Crossing. So then you see, oh, Jimmy's talking about this. This sounds like a cool game. I looked at it. This doesn't seem too hard. Doesn't seem too complicated. It's friendly, family friendly.
Bells?
So bells, yeah.
bells.
How many bells you got?
Yeah.
And you got to go to the bell exchange every Sunday to exchange your bells.
I'm weak. The last Animal Crossing game that sold even close to this number was their 6-year-old title on the 3DS, Animal Crossing New Leaf, which sold about 12.5 million units.
All right, so that one still outsold this one. That's
No,
interesting.
this one outsold that one.
12.5?
12.5 compared to the 13.4 from.
Oh, I was reading
New
the.
Horizons.
Sorry, I was reading the 11.77 million.
You good, baby? Do you think? Because I know this game was one of those heavily anticipated titles for the Switch, but I want to sit and think, like, if this game could have been any other, like if this game would have been a Zelda, like if Zelda would have launched on March 20th, do you think it would have sold through the fan like this? Like,
I don't think so.
or even like maybe Smash Bros drop like this?
It would sell really, really well. I don't think. I mean, even Smash Bros. It's like that doesn't appeal to like my sister, right? Whereas like Animal
that's a good point.
Crossing appeals to my sister.
What about something like like Odyssey?
It's the same thing why the Wii did so well, right? Is because appealed to my grandma, and it appealed to my aunt, and it appealed to my sister, and like people who don't normally play video games, they can bowl, and they can have Wii Fit, and they can do this, and they can do that, right?
Yeah.
And then there was Smash Brothers on it as well, and that obviously is gonna sell really well no matter what.
Yeah.
But like, if you have my sister a controller to play Smash Brothers, she's not gonna know what the fuck to do with it.
The closet cult following behind Animal Crossing is ridiculous.
Well, it's just got a lot bigger because, like I said, I know just anecdotally, I know a lot of people who got into the game who don't really play video games
And just
just
stuck
for
to
Animal
it.
Crossing,
And
and
they
they
stuck.
like it.
I actually bought, you guys know the limited edition
Yeah.
Switch.
Did
Yeah.
you?
I bought the limited edition Animal Crossing Switch thinking it came with Animal Crossing inside the box. Super excited to play the game. Never played Animal Crossing. Never heard of Animal Crossing before this.
You got molded.
So I'm super excited. It's a really nice Switch, right? It's like a tealish
Yeah.
blue color. I take it home, set it up. Where's the game? I look everywhere inside the box. I'm so confused. Doesn't come with the game.
I think it does come with a game.
Nope, does not
I
come
thought it
with
was a
the
digital
I thought
code.
all
No.
bundles came with the game.
Exactly. I got so excited to play the game. I'm like, oh,
I'd be
man,
real salty.
because the console came out like 2 or 3 weeks before the game came out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll be able to play before everyone else because obviously the console came out before the game.
No, I mean, if that's the thing. then I don't
Typically,
even see it.
typically it's a
You got Mikey looking it up now.
I felt like it's funny. I didn't buy the game after that. I'm like, oh, well, it didn't come with it. I'm not
So
gonna,
did you sell your Switch for like $800?
Yeah, you
I kept
should've.
it. I kept. It's actually.
It's not too late. You know that one for sure.
I've only used
You
it.
see the
once.
numbers.
I've used it once.
You can throw that out.
I've had it for
1,000.
almost 2 months, and I've used it once.
Because typically on things like that where the special edition console comes out before the game,
You would think, right?
typically it's like a digital code
Yeah,
that it
nope.
doesn't unlock until.
Nintendo is not about that. It's something. I mean, obviously Xbox and PlayStation do it, but no, yeah,
Greedy fucks.
yeah, right. Well, and one thing to keep in mind too is that if you look at Nintendo games at the stores, they're never on sale.
No.
Nintendo
Yeah,
never
never.
gives anything
Yeah.
away. It's usually if anything's on sale
Like
on
a good
Nintendo.
prostitute.
If anything's on sale on Nintendo, it's like the third-party titles all times. Season 5 of Apex dropped. Me and you played it. We played with the new character, Loba.
Loba.
I almost called her Lobos.
She's thick.
Super thick. And that's not even like, I don't even know if that's a part of like her appeal, but like it
The
definitely is.
fanfic is gonna be insane.
They definitely have some fan service for this.
She's a very
because-
attractive video game character.
So this I posted was of course before it actually dropped. But they added a lot more lore to Apex entirely. They now added in the PvE mode, which I still trying to figure out the works of how to find this out. But apparently it's, from what I understand, it's Loba's quest to, I guess, kill Revenant, essentially, or whatever. That's what it feels like, at least from the first pieces I've read, from the little treasure packs you can get in game. And this is just the trailer from her lore and her story.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so what do you think of? I mean, do you want to watch this?
I mean, we don't have to. We can just kind of leave it there as we talk about it. But, how do you feel? Did you get the player?
No, I didn't.
How do you feel about the new season 5 updates at all for Apex though? 'Cause this is,
I like it. I like that they're going back to King's
King's
Landing. Because that was my favorite map. I liked the other one, but it wasn't as appealing to me as King's Landing.
How do you like the map changes though?
It seems like they're just taking away instead of adding to it. It seems like they just knocked out big chunks of the map without like actually adding anything exciting to the map. Besides like those things, the pads that you sit on and it gives you.
Oh, and it gives you a little special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So they added little things like that, and then they added things like the blue crates. I
Yeah.
forgot, what character that's
That
from.
came a little before, but yeah, it's new to you.
Okay, so yeah,
I get you.
I jumped into Apex for the first time in a very, very long time. So it was fine. Very hard to get for me to get back into it. Because again, when it came out, we were all like on it. Like I was playing that, like that was my game.
It's the truth.
And I feel like I got like decent at it. And
Yeah.
then just going from Warzone back to Apex, it's different. Like even when I switched back after we got done playing and I went to play Warzone with one of my friends, it was like I kept pinging things. Like I kept throwing grenades instead of like pinging things. And then when I played Apex, I kept trying to ping things and I kept like messing up because everything's backwards.
Yeah.
So that was a little frustrating.
We played. We were doing okay. You didn't
I wasn't
really
doing
do
good.
much.
No.
Do you feel like the pace is different? Is that what it is? Like from Warzone to Apex?
It's a lot faster.
A lot faster.
Yeah.
I was super excited about Loba. She's super slim, thick. I don't even know if that video had any. Can you play the trailer, the actual gameplay trailer, the second video in there? Because like I just need people to see her. And I'm not trying to be weird, like I'm into like hentai or nothing like that, but like she looking a little thick over there. Look at her standing on the cliff, real thick.
Yeah.
And her abilities are crazy. Like she almost seems broken, but she's not because of like how the game actually plays. But like she can teleport. She can steal all the loot in the area. Like, I mean, remember me and Compa played today, and like Compa played as Loba a lot, and like the stuff we were doing was just real badass, especially on the map. It felt like a new map to me because of a lot of places. Like, why you make that face?
It did not feel like a new map.
It didn't feel like a new map. No. I felt like the areas where I would meet people were changed completely. Cause like there's like hot spots on the map. Like okay, if you go here, you know you may run into someone. Like this is where people go often. But like now, since the map has changed, it felt like a new map because like I would meet people and have like conflicts with people in places that I wouldn't have before. So
that is true.
Just from that alone, it feels like a different map because I'm having these conflicts in different pieces of the map. Now I'm having to act differently and have to really like remember the locations around so I can play the scenario out the best way as possible. Look at just all you can. Look at her.
Yeah. Well, and on top of this is the teleporting. I feel like is a little OP.
It's a hot cooldown, like 25 seconds. So it's not you can just like teleport like crazy, but it's just the fact that you can teleport, you can like get away or get in close.
Yeah, it's not like the other girl race where it's like you go invisible and like leave a little trail and you don't go so far. Yeah. Like you can damn near throw it across the map and
Zoop leaves the trail, but it's quick. Zoop. It's super quick. It's like that. Like if you weren't looking, you weren't looking. Look, there's a piece of right there. Then he's just there.
Yeah. Super cool.
Good shit.
But yeah, her other thing isn't too OP. The one where it's like you drop it and then it gives you all the boots around. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like because she's so new, I don't feel like people have used that to like the best. It potentially could be the best it could be used.
I mean, it depends on where you place it, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It all depends on obviously the skill level you have and understanding of the game.
How OP that sounds, they balanced it really, really well. Where it only gives you a certain distance and you only can pick two things.
Yeah, as a team.
You can't just go like, take everything.
And that's crazy. And it's just like this totem that kind of just sits there and it doesn't disappear. And I don't even know if you could still grab the items. Like, I don't know if it just collects them and like clones them in there because I've never actually went to go look to see like if it's still there or not.
No, it collects them. If you notice when you drop the thing, it levitates everything around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, all the loot and everything.
Look at that. Look at them. Put it in that work. Really exciting. Another exciting piece is Xbox has a lot of confidence behind Halo Infinite. And I find this interesting because they haven't given us anything new. It's almost like they don't even want to talk about it. But then this article broke out how confident they were. Xbox executive Aaron Greenberg said on Twitter that he has weekly check-ins with the Studio 343 and asks fans for their patience, especially now during the COVID-19. That 343 Studios is working around the globe with GOATs. I'm assuming the best people, I guess, they can find to really work on this at home. What's this quote say? Know that I met with the Halo team every week. This is a quote on Twitter from Greenberg. But the team is cooking fire. Oh, they are working incredibly hard for their fans. Trust me. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just hard to read. They are working incredibly hard for their fans. Trust me. Just give us a little patience as everyone is working from home right now and dealing with lots of everything is harder. But the team is cooking up some fire. And can you throw up the video, the Halo 3 video? Because I haven't seen this. I almost forgot what the game looks like. Halo 3. I mean, Halo Infinite. My bad.
Oh.
This is the most recent trailer. This is from E3, right? 2019 E3. This is the only thing we've gotten to see of this game. And I know our audio listeners obviously can't see this game, but like, I just want to emphasize.
You've probably seen it. It's very old. It's from like 3 E3s ago, 4 E3s ago.
2019. This is last year.
But I remember 3 years ago was the one where he
Yeah,
you remember the little poncho?
33.
Yeah. So I hope they're confident in it. And also, what I read into this is Halo not coming out with the console.
You're not even thinking about it like that.
Like,
why do you say that?
Because he's saying, give us a little time, be patient. He's prepping us. He's prepping us for disappointment.
Prepping and hyping up the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be really good, but it's gonna be really worth it. You should hold. It's just like The Last of Us, right? It's gonna be really good, but you gotta give us a little more
Just
time.
wait for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be worth
It's
it.
fine, but it's like that console's not coming out. The console is not coming out.
But even if it's not, they can still release the game because like, Xbox has said and quoted that all the Xbox One X titles are going to be playable on their older the Xbox One consoles. So it's like they can still hype up the game. Now, I don't know if they're trying to have this as the launch title, which of course I know that was their plan. Yeah. This is what they announced in E3. But I don't know. Does this mean, apparently, does this mean we get the Xbox pushback as well?
No, because I know they're. Look, I'm saying yes because that's what I've been saying since day one of this coronavirus.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, dollars to donuts, Halo's not there. And dollars to donuts, you're not going to be able to get one.
I love you, Daddy.
So
You're
what's
gonna
the
have
plan
to
B?
pay $800 from a reseller to get one of these.
What's plan B? Launch game.
I mean, maybe if they showed something at the gameplay trailer, we'd know. But we have no idea on that gameplay reveal.
Mikey's so burned.
So I mean, I don't know. That's the interesting thing about Halo. Shut up, Siri. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, and that's the thing about Xbox is I don't know what they have up their sleeve. I know what Sony has up their sleeve. They have this huge catalog of developers behind their back.
Yeah.
Whereas Xbox's is more fairly new because they did all these acquisitions, so we don't really know what they can kind of pump out.
I don't even know if those developers were cooking up stuff by the time when they were acquired till the release of this game. Like, how everyone have to wait till year 2, year 3 of the Xbox X before we see the fruits of all these studios. Because it only sounds like Halo would be one of the launch games, or what was another launch game, or even another game, like, Assassin's Creed, all those other third-party games. Like, we're getting like kind of how the Switch launched. We had to like scrape by on what was there until like we got like. Breath of the Wild.
Switch
and
launched with Breath of the Wild.
But my point is that we have to wait.
No, I get what you're saying.
Everything
PS4 like launch games are like most of the time. So like PS4 comes out and you have Halo. I mean, Killzone. You have Resogun, which was a decent game. You have Knack, which is like all games that you're like, okay, it's good, but it's not like next gen. It's not like amazing. It's not groundbreaking. It's not the last.
Are you guys ready for Knack 3?
I am, bro. I'm ready.
I've never played Knack at all.
Never played a single one, no.
Not
But
worth it.
What is it?
I played the first one.
Man,
Did I beat the first one? No, because Knack was actually a really bad game, and that's coming from the platforming guy.
it's a platforming game. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a character
News to me.
platformer. They were trying to bring back like a Crash mascot.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Well, speaking of PlayStation and what they got cooking in and what they're doing, announced today, PlayStation Studios, the brand, will launch with alongside the PS5. So this is Sony's new umbrella. They claim to be new umbrella of all their first-party studios.
Typically they went by Sony first-party worldwide studios.
Yeah, so
Or
I didn't
Sony
know what that
Worldwide
encompassed entire as far as what that means. Studios, like I was thinking, of course, we're thinking all the Sony Interactive studios, like London, Manchester, yada yada, the whole nine. But we talked a little bit before the podcast. And you were telling me like that could mean Naughty Dog.
That is Naughty Dog. They're first party.
Their first party. So all those games are just underneath that PlayStation Studios.
Yeah. So now you can also get things like we've had before, where it's collaborations like Sanzaru, where that's a second party game, which is basically a third party developer making an exclusive game, having this title on it, because Santa Monica was attached to help develop it or incubate the project.
Yeah.
Fat Princess, it was made by a different studio that wasn't owned by Sony, but it was incubated in Sony Santa Monica. Sony Santa Monica is typically a incubation studio where they take all these little studios or these other studios and they do collaborations with. So
that's dope. I didn't know that was
if
a
you
thing.
have something like that going, I imagine this logo or this branding being on it,
Yeah.
because Sony Santa Monica was attached to it. So then this would be like the PlayStation Studios like logo and then the developer logos.
Yeah, so they developed their own opening animation, which I don't know if that's gonna be like, you remember PlayStation 2 days when like you turn your PlayStation on and you had that little thing, or even sometimes when you load up an actual PlayStation game and it showed the actual PlayStation logo.
Yeah, so this would be your boot up screen, not for the PS5, but for games
Yeah,
that are developed exclusively.
that's clean.
It's very Marvel-esque.
Yeah, I was about to say, it reminds me of the Marvel intro immediately. Marvel vibes.
Go back, show me it one more time.
Yeah,
I
run that
watched
back.
this on loop like 9 times.
It was real clean though.
Yeah.
I get really
Thor,
strong Marvel
here
vibes.
comes the
Yeah.
Hulk.
Thor. The fuck?
Oh, this is in Marvel.
Funny. No, what they were saying too is those people that are showing up can be interchanged, so it's not always going to be those people.
Oh, that's a good concept. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, just like Marvel, right?
For those audio listeners who can't see the video, definitely go see the video. But we saw like screenshots of like Jack and Dexter. I forgot her name, but from Horizon Zero
Adelaide?
Dawn. Just those faces. I guess those are gonna be. I guess their
Nathan
mascots
Drake.
going forward.
Yeah. Again, first-party games. So these characters in these first-party games are just like a Marvel-esque video where you have the logo kind of shifting up, and then you see all these little cuts from all these different movies. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same kind of concept that they're going with, and then the studios reveal. Again, it's a weird thing to announce. I mean, it's cool. It's a really cool kind of thing that they're going to have in front of all their games on PS5. It's not going to be on any PS4 games, so it's not going to be on Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't mean to cut you off. But I just want to read part of the article. So they said they're telling us that, like you said, it's not going to be on Ghost of Tsushima. It's not going to be ready for The Last of Us 2, which are both supposed to be coming by summer, which is dope. But it also will miss like the new like Horizon Zero Dawn that's supposed to be on PC. I think that's coming on Steam and the Epic Store. And of course, like we said, they include all those first party studios, Guerrilla Games, Naughty Dogs, Media Model, Bend Studios, all those good things that we're gonna get.
Which is interesting. I saw someone bring this up on Twitter. Sorry, I forget who you are. Are we going to see this on when MLB The Show goes multi-platform on Xbox? Like, are you going to see a PlayStation Studios logo on that?
That's a good
like,
point.
I think you are. Yeah, you have to be. I mean, that is a PlayStation Studio. So
Yeah.
Unless it only counts for first-party games. I mean,
it is only first-party.
No.
MLB Show is a first-party game.
Who makes MLB The Show?
Sony Santa Monica.
is it Santa Monica?
No, not Santa Monica. Sorry, San Diego.
Sony San Diego
Sony
makes.
San Diego. My apologies.
Interesting.
So that's a first-party studio. And they incubated things like Drawn to Death and like some smaller. They tried to do a free-to-play initiative a while ago. I don't know if you remember this with like Drawn to Death and like all these other free-to-play games. Failed miserably, but like they tried to do the incubation as well.
I didn't hear it.
But yeah, so I mean, obviously, if MLB Show goes multi-platform on the Xbox, it's weird that we're gonna see a PlayStation logo. Or like if Horizon Zero Dawn 2 gets ported to PC,
That's good.
we're going to see a PlayStation Studios logo. So it's cool. We're starting to break the walls down a lot more with like cross-play and things like this.
We still haven't really heard much from Sony regarding the PS5 though. Like, I feel like they're literally like breaking this off with pieces. Like, get a little bit here. Last piece of news before this was I think in February when they announced the controller design. And then
Beautiful, by the way.
We haven't heard about it since.
Absolutely hideous.
You don't like it either?
Horrible.
I don't like it either. I want it to be all black. I don't like
It
the
looks
white.
so uncomfortable.
You're not allowed to buy a PS4.
It looks
Or
very
PS5.
uncomfortable.
You're not allowed to buy a PS5.
And
I
this
wish
is
it was
from
all
someone
black.
who kind of sort of likes the PS4 controller.
Shut up, you don't.
And that's why I like the Xbox controller so much.
It looks a little Xboxy.
Exactly. I feel like they didn't go for an original route. I mean, if you guys remember the DualShock 4 when it first came out, that was revolutionary. I mean, no controller at the time had a trackpad.
Yeah.
That was like that. I mean,
point.
That you don't use for anything. It's just
exactly.
a
It
soundbite.
wasn't used,
It's more
yeah.
of a gimmick, but still, it's original. You look at the new PS5 controller, the DualSense controller. I don't like the color scheme. I don't like the design.
I feel like it's gonna feel really good in the hands though. Like I'm interested for the haptic because
it looks really uncomfortable. I mean, it looks too bulky
Look,
for me.
get an Xbox, you fucking Xbox, all right? You're making me angry.
The
goddamn
Series
it.
X controller looks. It's like a refinement of the Xbox One
a-
controller.
And typically Sony's done that, and that was
Yeah.
the biggest departure from this new console was calling it the DualSense, which like DualShock is their branding. Like
that was their thing
like
for a while.
them calling it DualSense is like, hey, we're gonna try something a little bit more non-traditional because PS2 to PS3, PS1 to PS2, PS2 to PS3, PS3 to PS4, it's pretty much the same controller. PS4 obviously better triggers, better look and feel, a little bit bigger, right? The light bar, which I really enjoy. I know a lot of people hate it. I like how they integrated it on the trackpad this time with the DualSense. So this is the biggest departure that they've had in terms of controllers, where Xbox hasn't had a departure from their controllers since the big one.
I still feel like they're gonna make a DualShock 5.
If it ain't broke,
down the
don't
road.
fix it.
No.
I feel like they still look. They're at the end of the PS4 life cycle. They're starting to make more attachments. Like they made an attachment for the PS4 controller.
No, I'm sure you're going to be able to buy DualShock 4s and be able to use them on the PS5. Like I think that those controllers are going to be able to work.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you are going to be missing
makes
on a
sense.
lot of the haptic feedback, a lot of the features that the new controller brings.
The controller gives you.
But essentially, they're the same. Like it's just bigger, heftier, haptic feedback.
It's like the Elite controller for
USB-C
PlayStation.
charging, right? So fast charging. Got rid of the light bar, so it saves your battery a little bit more. Adds like cool little LED lights, not like a full like light bar.
Do you think they're gonna do more as far as like attachments or maybe add-ons for this controller, or even for the PlayStation 5?
I'm sure you're gonna get like the back paddle, like triggers.
Little
Maybe
buttons.
they'll actually do a pro controller. Who knows?
I don't expect that to happen, but
Eventually, who knows? I mean, it took Astro to make one, right, for them. So I guess they might just rely on these third-party kind of accessories.
I mean, they've been doing it before them.
But, yeah.
Last piece of news comes down to Final Fantasy 14. As of this is a little bit late in the game. I know. Look, I know it's late, but I feel like it's still my duty to let you know, because of who I am, that this is still a thing. All right. So Final Fantasy 14 is free to play for returning players. Now, if you're a new player, I can't help you. There's still a trial for you to play, just for being a new player. But if you got into the game like myself and then you dropped out because maybe you want to pay the month to month or free to play month to month or whatever, you still have time. Today is the 12th. This is supposed to run from April 14th to the 17th. So you have to this weekend. You have to Saturday. I did what I could with the time I had. Okay. So you have till now, until then, to really get this free to play, limited time deal, where you'll be given. It's for players that haven't played it for at least 30 days. So maybe you got into it, maybe just recently, and you maybe didn't want to play that month to month. But you still have some time to jump back into that. And I know you don't probably have any input on that at all.
Zero.
But I just wanted to throw that in to the news, the last piece before we
Go
get out
play
of
that,
here.
you dorks.
Go play that, because it's real fun. A lot of MMOs still haven't matched what Final Fantasy 14 can do. They're still adding on to it. Even the MMO RPGs that are still continuing on, like World of Warcraft. I don't even know if you want to consider Fallout. It's still a thing. Those games still honestly haven't matched what Final Fantasy can do in terms of content, in terms of gameplay, in terms of experience. I really fuck with that game. So, thank you for watching. My name is That Kid Flowers. This is Cheeks_Junior. Over in this chair over there, we got the new guy.
Don't talk. Don't talk.
Yeah.
Speak when spoken to.
No. This is my moment to shine. I'm the backbone of this show right here.
Ooh. Stay with your chest.
Come on. If you're gonna say something, fill time. You know what I mean?
Stay with your chest. Once again, like I said, you catch this tomorrow. This video will be out tomorrow, 10 a.m. on youtube.com/playeverything. That's going to be our channel. Go ahead, check it out there for the audio listeners as well. It's going to be out, like I said, Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes.
All the important ones.
All the important ones.
Get out of here with your play box. Or whatever the fuck you listen to it.
You got anything else you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, so I'm going to do a couple plugs here. Completely Consensual is back. That is right. That is my show. We record that on Mondays at 7 o'clock. Same time, different day. You know what I mean? So go check that out. That is our ridiculous clip show and kind of pop culture show where we bullshit. Honestly, it's just bullshitting. But it's a good time. We have a lot of fun. This week's episode was all about crazy Karens out there in the world.
Great episode. Definitely go back and watch that
You know the people that kind of talk to your manager bitches? Those girls. So we went down that rabbit hole of all those crazy public freakout videos, like also a couple other funny videos that we watched. So go check that out. And tomorrow we record Tech Fever. And for those of you who don't know, Tech Fever is Play Everything's weekly tech podcast where me and Kevin Quello from Kind of Funny get together and we talk about the tech news of the week. That goes live on Thursdays at 10 a.m. That one is not live yet. I'm working on that. And if that does go live, eventually that will be on Wednesdays. But right now it's Thursdays, 10 a.m., podcast services, YouTube, all that good stuff.
All the good stuff. Before we get out of here, though, drop some sparks in the comments. Mr. Dabs, has anyone dropped any sparks? We got anything popping in the chats?
I think we did get
Any new follows? What's up? What's popping?
Let's see. I think we got news.
What's hot? What's heat?
So once we switch off the stream, Adrian will read any kind of comments, answer any kind of comments you have there in the chat.
Truly.
It will give you any subscribers. He'll give you a shout out, and any sparks that were dropped, we will go ahead and shout you out on the stream after.
Yes, sir.
YouTube, you are not going to be able to see that, but if you join us live, you will see that in our kind of our render queue or our stream queue that we have there. So
Thank you for watching. This is Invite Only, and you have been invited.
to only fans.
Cut the shit. Cut it.